All right, forgot to say this at the beginning of the video. I'm going to insert it now. But guys, if you're in this league and your feelings are going to get hurt when I don't like your pick, please just turn off the video. I'm wrong all the time. I don't take myself too seriously, but I am going to speak my honest mind. And if I think a pick is bad, I'm going to say why I think it's bad. But also, if you want in a Flock Dynasty League, make sure you go down there, join the in the description, there's going to be the link to join our Dynasty group chat. Join that, shoot me a DM or shoot me a DM on Twitter, and I'll get back to you. Let's get into it.
That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to break down a real life startup dynasty draft that happened after the NFL draft. That way you get a better sense of where actual player values are right now. I know people rely on ADP a lot, and I'm going to sit here and tell you, I've said this all offseason, but ADP is mainly useless. I mean, I see some ADP lists that get sent in the Discord chat pretty much every other day, and they are laughable. Like, these ADP lists don't represent anything that anybody's actually doing in real dynasty startup drafts. So we're going to dive into it. This is a real draft, $60 to get in, and it's actually going to be a Superflex draft. But keep in mind, if you don't play in a Superflex league, super easy. Just take out the quarterbacks, and then bam, you got a one quarterback league. But before we get into it, make sure you go down there, like the video. We're getting y'all 2 videos a day, so it's more important now than ever to make sure you go down there, like it. That way the algorithm doesn't mess the channel up, and I can continue to get y'all multiple videos a day so we don't have to go back to one. First overall, Christian McCaffrey. This is kind of standard at this point. After the contract extension, you can't really argue any other player ahead of Christian McCaffrey. Earlier this offseason, I was saying maybe I would rather have Saquon Barkley, just mainly due to the age and the lack of career touches compared to Christian McCaffrey. But at this point, McCaffrey, clear 101. Here at 102, 103, 104, it gets interesting. Really, you have your choice of Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley. Don't think there's really a wrong answer or a correct answer out of these 3 as long as you're taking one of these players. 105, we kind of see a major drop-off from where the tier sat at 104. That's kind of the end of the tier marks where really we get into no man's land. But I will say at the 105, I'm not looking running back here. I think I'm going to go with Kyler Murray. I think he's the best player available in terms of value and where you're going to be able to build your team around. But I can understand wanting to go Ezekiel Elliott and Alvin Kamara just because the production they're going to give you in 2020, and they both are young and should be able to be projectable for the next couple seasons. But 108, we see Michael Thomas go off the board. 109, DeAndre Hopkins. Gonna beat right around the bush. Hate the DeAndre Hopkins pick. Same thing with Devontae Adams at 110. I really don't like investing in these older wide receivers at this point in the startup draft, especially when you can go wait until you get in the 4th round and take a Mike Evans. I'd much rather go that route and take who I took here at 111. I was surprised that he lasted this far to me, but George Kittle. George Kittle is actually, let me clarify this with saying it is a tight end premium league where the tight end position gets 1.5 points per reception. So George Kittle is the clear pick for me here, especially since this is a best ball format. So what this is going to allow you to do is it's actually going to allow you to save a roster spot on tight end and load up on another boom bust wide receiver later on in the draft. Now at the 112, 201, Nighthawk comes in here and takes some fantastic guys in my opinion. We see Tyreek Hill and Deshaun Watson go off the board. I think I actually will have Dak Prescott ahead of Deshaun Watson now with the acquisition of CeeDee Lamb, but you can't really blame wanting to go out there and get Deshaun Watson, who's conceivably a top 5 quarterback in the league in terms of pure talent. Now at the 202, I'm sitting here. I actually was trying to trade out of this pick. I was looking at Josh Jacobs, Dak Prescott, and the rookie 101 pick, but no bites. I was trying to go down there just to get to the 205 and ended up having to take best player available on my board, which was Josh Jacobs. Similar to the George Kittle pick, locking up a 3-down running back this high in the draft, still on his rookie contract, and really just projectable for the next 3 years. It's going to allow you to build with a lot of flexibility later on in the draft. 203, Dak Prescott, great pick, a guy I was considering here. 204, 205, Dalvin Cook and Joe Mixon. I really don't agree with these picks, especially with Miles Sanders and the rookie 101 on the board. I believe that the rookie 101 is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I'd much rather have that running back who I'm going to come out straightforward and say, no, he is not near as talented as Dalvin Cook or Joe Mixon. But I say it all the time on this channel. We are not trying to build a Madden team. We're not real-life NFL GMs. We're not taking the most talented players. Yes, you need to get talented players on your dynasty team because they're the players who are going to be easily projected over the next couple seasons. But if it's a marginal talent difference, you really want to lean the player who has a better career outlook with his contract and his situation. So that's why I would much rather have Clyde Edwards-Helaire over Dalvin Cook and Joe Mixon, who are both holdout candidates going into 2020, and they've already had a good amount of touches on their body. But let's skip past those. 206, Hunter takes Miles Sanders. Hunter, you know I like to give you a hard time, but Miles Sanders, great pick here. 208, Russell Wilson. 209, Mark Andrews. I like the picks. I would have much rather gone with the rookie pick 102 and locked up a Jonathan Taylor, just because what it would do for your team build throughout the rest of the draft. And you can kind of look at this. I mean, when we're going to run through this exercise, just imagine where you would be able to get these wide receiver values or quarterback or tight end values a couple rounds from now, even though y'all know I am the biggest Mark Andrews fan ever, and I love Russell Wilson. I actually believe that Russell Wilson may be the most talented quarterback in the league outside of Patrick Mahomes. But let's go down to the 210. We see Travis Kelce go off the board. This is farther than Travis Kelce has fallen in any of our other flock drafts, but you have to love the value at 210. Don't know if I would have gone here just because I'm not a massive Travis Kelce fan, but it's value, and you can't pass on it when you have it. Now at the 211, Chris Godwin. Not going to argue with Chris Godwin. Y'all know my stance on him. I'm low on him compared to consensus, especially with all the other weapons in that Tampa Bay system, but you can understand wanting to take the young stud wide receiver here at 211. 212, Nick Chubb. This is the lowest I've seen Nick Chubb go in any startup this entire offseason. So I think it's actually great value, even though y'all know that I am not a Nick Chubb fan. I really try to avoid him where I can. But if he's going to slide down here to the 212, when most leagues he's going at the beginning of the second round, end of the first round, I think that is good value, and that's actually where he should be going in drafts, even though I would much rather have the pick that came off the board next at the 301, the rookie 102, which in my mind is Jonathan Taylor. I would rather have that running back over Nick Chubb, just because I believe that Jonathan Taylor is maybe the same talent as Nick Chubb. Maybe Nick Chubb's a little bit better of a running back, but Jonathan Taylor is coming in on that rookie contract, and he is coming into a situation that does not have Kareem Hunt on the team. So much rather have the 102, but this was picked by the same guy at the 212, 301. So who knows? I mean, the order didn't really matter here. 302, Hunter takes DJ Moore. Not going to lie, I think I would rather have the rookie 103. Y'all are going to see a trend. I know these are really high for these rookie picks, and a lot of people are going to say, oh my God, the rookie hype is strong. But you have to understand, when you're ever going to project these rookie running backs out a couple of years, if they hit, I mean, at the 103, you're going to be either getting Joe Burrow, J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift, whoever you want at that pick. And if they hit, their value is going to be a lot higher than a DJ Moore, especially in a best ball format where you can get a wide receiver a couple rounds later. Now, at the 304, Derrick Henry goes off the board. Do not like the Derrick Henry pick. I would have much rather seen Josh Allen, Juju Smith-Schuster, A.J. Brown, 104, any of these over Derrick Henry. This is a little early compared to where he's been going in most flock drafts, but I mean, this is a lot later than if you look at high-stakes redraft leagues for 2020. And I know Bob here at the 304 is going for a win-now mode, so it makes sense to double down on Derrick Henry at the 304. 305, Josh Allen, fantastic value. Josh Allen may not be a fantastic NFL quarterback, but just like I said earlier in the video, we're not building an NFL team. We're not a GM. No, it may be fun to pretend that we are, but no, Josh Allen's going to be able to provide fantasy points on the ground with his legs, even though he is an inaccurate quarterback. 306, Juju Smith-Schuster. Love the value. Y'all know I am a massive fan of Juju, so to see him go off the board after the 103, the 305, I think that's completely fair, and I'd much rather have him over A.J. Brown. But Hunter here goes A.J. Brown in the rookie pick 104. I completely agree with actually both picks. Love to give Hunter a hard time, like I said earlier, but great picks there. 309, Austin Eckler goes off the board. Austin Eckler is a sneaky winner of the NFL draft. I was kind of worried that a Jonathan Taylor or someone was going to land in that spot at the early second round, just because I know Austin Eckler is an extremely efficient running back, maybe one of the best running backs in the league, but we've never really seen him handle a full workload for an entire season. And I didn't know if the Los Angeles Chargers were going to be able to put all their chips in on that, and really have to love what you're seeing there, especially with Tyrod Taylor kind of losing that starting job and Justin Herbert coming in. Now, at the 310, Aaron Jones goes off the board. Now, this is a player that I've never really been a fan of in Dynasty. Y'all know I am a massive fan of Aaron Jones' pure talent, but at the same time, he's never been able to show that he's a full workhorse running back. And with the Green Bay Packers coming in and spending a second-round pick, Keep in mind, it was at the very end of the second round, but still on A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon really is the exact opposite of Aaron Jones in that I think that they're going to use these two running backs in a committee. Aaron Jones has always been used in a committee, and he's been extremely efficient, but I am a little less hesitant to bank on efficiency over talent. Now here at the 105, I know this may seem a little early ahead of Mike Evans. Y'all know I love Mike Evans, but if you look at who's going to be this 105 pick, you're going to be either looking at a J.K. Dobbins, a Cam Akers, a DeAndre Swift, a Tua Tagovailoa. So if you actually replace the pick with a name and understand the flexibility that it gives you on later in the draft, because I'm not necessarily blocking my team into one direction right here. Everyone will trade for a rookie pick, and at the same time, with that rookie pick, I can kind of push back and make my decision at a later date, whether I want to go running back or quarterback here. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to go wide receiver. I think 105 is way too early for any of these rookie wide receivers, and I would love the value I got here. Now, 312, you see Mike Evans. 401, you see rookie pick 106. Completely agree with both these picks. They would have been my exact selections. 402, I take the 107, very similar to my 105 pick. I am looking at this saying, hey, I'm going to get whoever's left out of the 5 top running backs and the 2 top quarterbacks. So I'm completely fine with getting a Tua Tagovailoa, J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift, Cam Akers, whoever is going to be available there. Obviously, this pick has no shot of becoming a Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jonathan Taylor, or Joe Burrow. Now at the 403, Julio Jones goes off the board. Interesting pick here with Julio. I think it's the same thing I would have done. I actually ended up getting him at the very end of the 4th round in the Flock 6 Dynasty League. But at the same time, I think if you're looking at the board, it's hard to really take any other player over Julio here. Maybe I would have gone with a Kenny Golladay or a Carson Wentz, but Amari Cooper gets a big ding with CeeDee Lamb coming into town. There's a big tier drop-off at the 108, 109, which I believe those rookie picks are actually going to be wide receivers, and I'm not too excited about them. So I like the Julio Jones pick. Same thing with Amari Cooper. I know that a lot of people are really down on Amari Cooper after the CeeDee Lamb acquisition, and yes, it does lower his value, but we can't lower it too much just because Amari Cooper is a proven stud at the NFL level. Get out of here with saying that he's inconsistent. I don't care if he's inconsistent. I'm not trying to win NFL games. I'm just going to add his fantasy points up at the end of the season, and I know some people always love to complain, oh, look, Amari Cooper only gave you 2.3 fantasy points this week, but the next week he gave you 30. Guys, it doesn't matter. There have been countless studies shown that in fantasy football, consistency doesn't matter. And I know it's funny to say, and I know, especially in this best ball format, it's even less important here. But sorry to tell y'all, consistency doesn't really matter in fantasy football. If you don't believe me, look it up. There are countless studies that have been done to proving this. Now, at the 405, 406, we see the 2 rookie picks go off the board. And look, I just took the 407 at the 38th overall pick, and the 41st, 42nd, we see the next 2 rookie picks. And I loved my pick at the 38th, but I'm going to let you know here, this is where I think it's so important to have your rookie rankings laid out. I think it's a clear tier fall off after the 107. You're going to be looking at 2 wide receivers here, or you're going to be looking at a quarterback in Justin Herbert. And I'm not excited for any of those players over the next string of guys who go. And these are possibly my 3 favorite picks in the draft right here. Carson Wentz, DK Metcalf, Kenny Golladay, all fantastic value. Love what they did there and really can't complain with it. Now at the 410, we see Kenyon Drake go off the board. Kenyon Drake's a guy that's locked into a massive workload in 2020, but who knows what he is beyond that. So really, if you take Kenyon Drake here at the 410, it's a fantastic pick if you're willing to move all your chips in the middle and you're willing to compete now. 411, we see Courtland Sutton go off the board. Gonna shoot straight here. Horrible pick, Hunter. I'm sorry, my man. But we see the Denver Broncos come in with already having Noah Fant, and they invest in Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler, bringing in Melvin Gordon. And I understand Courtland Sutton is a stud wide receiver, but we're playing for fantasy points here. And Courtland Sutton, in no world should he be going over Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, Calvin Ridley. I mean, I can understand Calvin Ridley, but to take him ahead of Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp in a league where we're trying to score fantasy points and they're all about the same age, we really don't like that process there. Now at the 412, 501, we see the rookie pick 110 go off the board, which at this point, I don't think the rookie picks are a value. I thought they were whenever we were in the running back and quarterback range for those rookie picks. But when we're sliding down here at the 110, you're going to be looking at a player like Jalen Reagor. And I'd much rather have a Leonard Fournette, Baker Mayfield, Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, Calvin Ridley. I'd rather have any of those picks over one of those wide receivers. So the 501, Odell Beckham, love the pick. 502, Baker Mayfield, great value. 503, Leonard Fournette, very interesting. Like I said with Kenyon Drake, believe he's a running back that has a locked in volume for 2020, but beyond that, it's in question. So if you're taking him here, you kind of have to go out there and you have to commit to win now, which is exactly what A1 DeMaster did with stacking Kenyon Drake and Leonard Fournette together. Great process there. 504, 505, great value here. I mean, Bob and his co-owner just absolutely killed it. Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, best players available on the board. Maybe I would have gone Calvin Ridley just because I'm a Calvin Ridley fanboy, but you love to see it. Now at the 111, at the 507, we see the rookie pick 111 go off the board. Don't really like it, not going to lie. It's the same process as I've been saying. I mean, this is going to be like a Henry Ruggs right here, and I'd much rather have a couple of these veterans that are still available. Now at the 508, Todd Gurley goes off the board. Don't really like the Todd Gurley pick either, just because Todd Gurley, he's similar to the Leonard Fournette and the Kenyon Drake, where he does have a locked-in workload for 2020, but who knows if that knee is going to hold up, whereas with those other running backs, it's kind of the similar situation, but they have their health, and they've recently been productive. Now, at the 509, I was sitting, I believe, at the 511, and I was just trying everything I could to trade up here. I saw Daniel Jones. In most flock leagues, he's going at the end of the second round, beginning of the third round, because, this is super flex here, and Daniel Jones is on a rookie contract. He scores a lot of fantasy points. Yes, he's like a Josh Allen, where he may not be that great of an NFL quarterback, but he's going to put up numbers, and he's going to have massive spike weeks. So I pretty much did everything I could to trade up here, take Daniel Jones, one of my favorite picks of the draft. Now, 510, Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs is interesting. I think I would have gone DJ Chark here instead, just because I'm trying to avoid these wide receivers switching teams this offseason, especially with the shortened offseason. 511, DJ Chark, great value. 512, Zach Ertz. Decent. I think I would have gone with one of these quarterbacks here. I think those are the clear value at the board, on the board, and this is where it's important in Superflex leagues to try to track these quarterbacks and try to kind of determine where a quarterback run is going to take place, because this is going to be the end of the startup draft that I cover. We are, I believe, in round 11 right now in the startup draft, so by the time this video is out, we may be in round 15. If you want the full link to the startup draft, make sure you go join the Discord chat. I'm going to post it there under the drafts with buy-in tab, and that way you can go there, really look at the entire board, and try to use it as a tool if you have your own Dynasty startup coming up soon, or even in trades. But let's slide down here and let's just look at a lesson for wanting to try to establish where this quarterback run is going to happen. So you see right here, this is why it's important to evaluate, okay, hey, the quarterback run in Superflex has not happened yet. Maybe it's going to happen in 10, 15 picks. I don't know, but I want to get the best quarterbacks available on the board right now, which is what I did with Matt Ryan and Daniel Jones, because I was like, I don't pick for a while, and every single Superflex draft, what people will do is they'll wait until the very last minute to take a quarterback, but when you wait too long, you get kind of stuck in the run. So if we look at this run right here, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks go off the board in a row. And this is the last thing you want to do. You don't want to be at the end of the run, because if you're at the end of the run, you're going to be spending a very similar pick to everyone else on getting a far inferior talent at the quarterback position. So make sure you go out there, try to be at the beginning of the quarterback run in all your Superflex startup drafts. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all. If you want in a Dynasty Superflex League, as always, go join the Discord. Shoot me a group message. Believe we have the Flock 8 almost filled by now. Once it's filled, we're going to be collecting payments and get that league drafting. But thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.